Being 5 o'clock, I'll call the select board meeting to order. And we are going to start with a public hearing to discuss if the town should allow Keno. Oh, and there he is.
And there he is.
She's not night
We
time.
had 1 minute
Just
to
opened
go.
the public hearing, and
Just
nothing
opened
was
the
said
public
yet.
hearing.
You guys are starting early, aren't you?
We're going by the,
Can you get back?
Yeah, the clock's a little fast.
oh, is it?
That was 2 minutes early.
No, it's 2 minutes early.
Oh, I
I climbed up on the
apologize.
chair lately to fix it.
Anyway, we are open for discussion, comments. That's what this hearing is for.
Uh-oh, what just happened?
This is on the warrant for the town to vote. So this is just a chance for public opinion.
Right.
What we got 12?
So, okay,
Yeah, go for it.
I'm Lynn,
Yeah.
own Mama Bear Corner Store. So I'm interested in getting it in my store. It's no different than the Powerball, the Mega Bucks, Mega Millions. It's just a button on my machine. I'm not gonna have screens in there, nobody's hanging out to do it. And I would like to see if it's okay to do that. And if anybody has questions about it.
So you would have some benefit from it? I mean, besides people coming into your store to play the game,
Yes,
do you get a kickback from the game itself?
I do, just like the other games that I already have.
Yeah.
It's just another button on my machine,
Yeah.
just like any other lottery store.
Can you just describe how it goes? It's a card. You come in and buy a card like you buy a Powerball ticket.
Yes, it's a ticket just like the Powerball,
Yeah.
but they play it every 5 minutes. So you pick your numbers, and then the game comes up.
I think you're muted.
Ah. Thank you. We were indeed. I don't know how that happened. Okay.
So if you have an app on your phone, you can check your numbers, or you can wait and I can scan it in the machine just like the Powerball and all the other games. So, and yes, I do get a percentage for selling tickets on all the other games already, and that is the same percentage.
Okay.
So, any other questions, concerns?
Are there any questions or comments from anybody else in the public?
I gotta say, Chris Vernon, I have the old Checkers Villa. The only questions I get is when I'm opening and do you have Powerball, Keno.
Oh, really?
Oh, really?
Everybody's onto this Keno thing, trust me.
Okay.
I don't play it, but
Yeah.
play all the other cards, but it's a big thing out there, for business-wise.
That's
Thank you.
interesting, too.
So you'd be in favor of it then? You would be in favor of allowing Keno?
You'd be in favor, yes.
Yes.
Yep. Any other questions or comments from the public? Or from the board? Thank you for coming in tonight.
All right,
Yeah.
that was wonderful, thanks.
So, with no other,
You do have to close
Hang
the
on,
warrant.
we have one more person joining who may be joining for Keno. I don't know.
Is that Ryan? He's from the Lottery Commission, actually.
Ah.
So I'm hoping he is able to get in.
Ryan, you're now in the meeting. You're on mute. And I don't know if you want to make any statement.
And there weren't particularly questions.
I represent Intralot, one of the New Hampshire vendors, but I do not represent the New Hampshire Lottery.
Okay.
thank you.
Of course.
If there's no other questions or comments on Keno, I will motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
Any discussion? Roll call vote.
Gary, yes?
Schaefer, yes?
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. The public hearing is now closed at 5:04 p.m.
Are you sure?
Thank you.
Thank you for
Good
coming in.
night. Have a great vacation, Lynn.
So,
Thank you.
Are there any changes or additions to the agenda?
No.
No changes or additions. We'll move on to new business. Department head update with the welfare officer, Paul Priestman.
Hi folks, how are you?
Paul?
Been on the job 7 months now, and it's been interesting.
7 weeks?
7 weeks.
It feels like 7
That's
months.
just right. It's been interesting and productive. I've had contact with about a dozen folks. About a third of those folks are just started discussions about their situations, and then sometimes I'll give them applications, and then really nothing really comes of that. To date, sometime, maybe some point in the future they'll have a need and they'll have some more information. About a third of the folks that I've encountered in the last 7 weeks, I've been able to help link up with other services, other sort of financial support systems like fuel assistance or state assistance. The other third, there was one completed application that we denied on a basis that was sort of pretty clearly outlined in the town welfare policy. I can tell you more about that, but that's not really necessary, I don't think. There was one couple from Conway that we were not able to help. He turned out that he was
Don't
a
need, details.
no.
No.
Okay. And then we helped 3 folks, 3 families, and I can give you any information about that. They were all sort of productive ways to sort of help people get up over a hump
Yeah.
that they had encountered.
How's it been working with other agencies?
Easy. I mean,
Good.
easy-ish. It's the status quo. You get some helpful folks, and then some
Yeah.
folks that are less helpful, and you just have to keep sort of pushing with those folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I know that those relationships can take a little time to build too, and to figure out who to call when and at what time.
Yep.
But have you found any situations, and you don't have to tell us like
Sure.
specifics, but have you found situations where there weren't local agencies that were suitable to meet their needs?
No, there were clearly a couple of situations where people just were not able to sort of kind of navigate the system, or sort of be able to receive help. And you can sort of take them only so far.
Sure.
But there weren't any situations where people had a sort of a direct, knowable need, and we weren't able to sort of either help them directly or find a resource for them.
Yeah, great. Great.
Any other questions for?
Thanks
Paul?
for taking on this job.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I said, it's been rewarding and interesting, and
Excellent.
Any questions? Thank you for coming in tonight.
sure thing.
Appreciate it.
Switch hats.
Next on the agenda.
Pool committee update with Paul.
It's a diverse portfolio. I really don't have anything other to report than what I wrote down for you. I'm glad to field any questions, any sort of, whatever you sort of.
My question is, so people have asked about the pool,
Yep.
and the question that comes up is the committee working toward creating a municipal pool that would be supported by the taxpayers, or is the committee working to see if there's a collaborative way to have a pool in the Tamworth area that's not necessarily supported by the taxpayers?
The pool's aspirations are that it's a municipal pool that is self-supporting. So in the same way that the sewer system,
Sure.
there's user fees, there's no taxpayer money, but it's a municipal organization. So it's the same, that's what our goal is. And I
Okay.
think that's really I think it will be a regional resource,
Yeah.
and users from outside of, the town of Tamworth would be able to sort of put money into that pool. So that's sort of the concept, and we'll find out if that's viable or not.
Okay. Well, now I've got an answer to tell people. Yeah, thanks.
Is there any questions from the public on the pool committee? Hearing none. Is there any questions from the, no other questions from the board? And that was, yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, so as I put in the report, I expect
Yeah.
we'll finish things up in this calendar year.
Yeah.
Issue a written report. We'll probably have some sort of public
Yeah.
dealing with bib.
Yeah,
Um,
cool.
Good, thank you.
Swimming's good.
Absolutely. Appreciate the report.
Yeah, thank you for coming in. I'm gonna move on to the Conservation Commission with Nelson O'Brien.
All right. You should have gotten a note from me with some information on it. And the first item on your list is the Holden conservation easement. As you recall, in December, you approved a conservation easement on 2 of their lots. And after that, they decided that they wanted to put an easement on a 3rd lot, which had the information there as to which lot it is and so forth. And this is an unusual lot in that it was originally a gravel pit for the rerouting of Route 25 some years ago. And so it looks sort of like a bathtub if you look at the topo map that I've also included there. And it's covered in mostly pitch pine at the present time. There are some rudimentary trails that the locals use for hiking and snowshoeing. And the Conservation Commission looked at it. While it's not quite as impressive as the 2 that we had before, it does have frontage on Mill Brook. And we would recommend that the town approve the Conservation easement. It would be a donated one, so it would be no cost. And if you like to, I have a copy of a deed. It is very much like the ones you saw earlier, with the exception that the description of the property is different. I will be happy to entertain any questions. Actually, look at the,
Can I look at that?
Yeah.
it's 25 acres, incidentally.
No, I'm just trying to, oh, you got the LiDAR? Huh.
Where?
There's a good map of it. One of these places.
I see where it is. So it's on the other side of the river from Bryant Road.
Okay.
Over here. Yeah.
Looking for a map.
No, I'm looking at the map, but I'm looking at my phone, so.
Oh.
Steve pulled it up. When the Conservation Commission enters into conversations with landowners about conservation easements, is one of the criteria that you think about, like looking at tax implications for the town?
We do look into that as well. This is under current use.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I have no.
yeah. Okay, that's the only question I
And
have.
the other reason that the commission thought it would be useful to put it on easement is it does abut properties that are already on a conservation easement on the other side of Millbrook.
So,
Yeah, I think up here was.
yeah. Don't really want to access it there anyway.
So I think, are there any questions on that?
None for me.
Yeah.
I make a motion to approve the amendment and consolidation of.
No. That's the wrong one.
Oh, it's number 2.
No.
This is separate.
This is separate. This is completely separate.
Oh, so you,
So what we're looking for now is if you wish to approve the Holden conservation easement.
okay.
I've got 3 items for you tonight.
Oh, only 2 got passed on, all right, so let me get the language right here. But is the,
We didn't write a,
So the motion is to approve the Holden Conservation easement.
Yes,
for map 206, lot 97.
Right.
Do I make a motion?
I move that we accept the conservation easement from Cecile and Stephen Holden for map 206, lot 97.
second.
Discussion? Hearing no discussion, roll call vote.
Barry, yes.
Schaefer, yes?
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no.
That will need a signature, which will need to be notarized at some point. Do you want to take that folder, Keith?
And it's signed by,
It's already been signed by me.
okay, so this is the select board signature?
Actually, that one was written, so it's just Emery.
Okay,
But it'll need to be notarized.
yeah, so we can do it when Elaine's here next week.
Okay.
All right, before we get to the one you just read, Emery, the other one is not, is a request from Harold Cook. He wishes to donate 7.1 acres of land off of Depot Road, which is basically an oxbow island from the bear camp. His preference is to donate it to the town, but if the town does not wish to accept it, he would try to see if one of his abutters would accept it.
I thought that's all I needed.
The Conservation Commission thinks that this would probably be a good idea because
Make everybody's life
it's
easier.
basically a wildlife habitat. Some years ago, the
Yeah, 'cause she said,
bear camp trackers went through that area and were very impressed with how many critters are using that as a home. It has virtually no potential for building since it's based in an island and it's also in a floodplain. So the question for the select board is, do you wish the town to accept this, or would you prefer that one of his abutters accept it? Or, let me rephrase that. Let's leave it that way. It gets
And
complicated.
did he stipulate that he would put an easement on it?
Yeah.
Well, if the town accepts it, we can't put an easement on it because you can't
No, I
hold
mean,
it.
if we decline.
But
So it's
if
this area right here.
If one of his abutters, and it would probably be Depot Road LLC,
Right.
accepts it, we would stipulate that an easement be put on at the point at which they do the acceptance.
But if it's, I mean,
Okay.
I'm just wondering about the easement, if it's not buildable, if it's in a floodplain and it's an island with no access,
Right.
what would happen to it if you didn't put an easement on it?
It would probably be just fine.
Yeah.
Can the property be logged? Or is it?
It would be a little difficult, but there are a few trees on it, on the
I was just
island.
thinking of tax impact in the future. If, you know, we put, if we gave it to an abutter, there's a chance that it could be logged and we could get some timber tax out of it,
Yeah,
potentially. And
You
then,
could do
you know,
that.
and obviously it must not be in current use at this point. If it's only 7.
that is correct. In
Yeah.
fact,
But if an abutter took it, they might be able to put it in current use if it was in
almost
control.
certainly.
And fold it into the.
It used to be in current use until he sold off the rest of that lot, which was quite large. And I do not know why this little parcel was left by itself. So the appraised value went up from about $400 to $4,000 after he changed it. That it roughly gives the town $100 of revenue per year.
So it's not like it's a huge tax
Either
impact.
way.
I'd rather, I mean, I don't know, I don't see that there's any
Yeah,
benefit to the town
to own it.
taking it,
Yeah.
or owning it, getting it, because, I mean, it's not like it's gonna get developed or anything anyway. I
Okay?
mean, that's my
Yeah.
feeling.
I agree.
I'd rather see the butter
All
have
right.
it, I think.
That was, I wanted to know one way or the other, and I'll tell Harold that that's the way the town prefers
Yeah.
it. And we'll take it from there.
If an abutter won't accept it, then maybe we'll.
Yeah, we can
reconfirm.
revisit it some point,
So,
but that's fine. All right, now the third item, which should.
Now we're going back to.
That's the one that you have, the cheat sheet in front of you. This is the culmination of about 10 years of Chris Ault trying to consolidate his many conservation easements, of which there are 8. And the process is when it is down, so there will be 2 conservation easements. One of them will be, there'll be 2 lots, or 2 easements, which are at the very northwest corner of his property. That's the house lot where the old family house is, although that's not part of the conservation easement, and frontage on Mill Brook. That would be combined into one. That's actually an amendment, and would be held by the town with a executory interest held by the Forest Society. Okay, and then below that, there are 6 different easements. Those would be combined into one easement, and in these, the easement would be owned by the Forest Society. The town would have an executory interest. The documents have been okayed by the Attorney General's office, which is a requirement for any change in a conservation easement in New Hampshire, by, of course, the Forest Society's legal representative, and by Christine Johnston, who is ours. So we highly recommend that you accept this so that we can simplify this enormous patchwork of conservation easements which date back to 1970s. I'll be happy to try to answer questions.
is there any downside to doing this?
No.
Doesn't seem like it.
Actually, there's some positive side because the larger part of the conservation easements will be held by the Forest Society, which means that they have to monitor them, not us. Now, that's a little bit of a selfish reason, but
Fair enough.
it's not insignificant. But no, there is no downside to the town. It changes nothing. The conservation easements are in fact a little updated and a little more stringent. Not much. Basically, one of the things is that it has a little more protection for the public using the path along Mill Brook.
Is there any questions for Nelson before I make a motion? I make a motion, hopefully I'm doing the right one this time. I make a motion to approve the amendment and consolidation of conservation easement deeds recorded at the CCRD as book 1045, page 462, and book 3123, page 990, to be one conservation easement deed held by the town of Tamworth with the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests having an executory interest.
Second.
Discussion, questions? Hearing none, roll call vote.
There, yes.
Schaefer, yes?
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no.
All right, so that was the first one, so we got to do the second one.
I thought that was the third thing. Oh.
We've
Okay.
already
It's
discussed.
both, okay, I see now.
That's
I make a
the
motion
one.
to approve consolidation of conservation easement deeds having CCRD book page numbers 923-42, 1170-470, 695-131, 1380 713, 923-33, 2602-529, 2099-290, and 3424-131 into one conservation easement deed held, that's what I thought, held by the Society for the Protection of New Hampshire Forests and with the town of Tamworth having an executory interest.
Second.
Discussion. Roll call vote.
There, yes.
Schaefer, yes?
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no. I think I got it this time.
Thank you very much. Those will require your notarized signatures, at least 3 of you. And you'll take those too. Just let me know when they're ready.
Okay.
I'll take care of them.
Alright.
Any other questions for the Conservation Commission?
Thanks for all the work.
Thanks, that's a long process.
You better believe it.
So much.
I do appreciate your indulgence in all of the little minutiae with the listing of the various conservation easement on the registry, but I figured it would should be as it is on the record because you're signing something which says that it was explained at this meeting, so that's the reason. All right,
Thank you very much for coming in.
thank you.
Moving on to SB 533, proposed changes to NHP DIP guidelines.
It's the public deposit investment pool. And the SB 533 is a bill to restrict how the money is invested. And the goal, I think, did I send you the explanation of it?
Yeah.
And so basically you've seen a copy of the letter to voice your dissent, and that's with the concurrence of the trustee of the trust funds. So that's what that is.
So do we need to make a motion or just?
Probably would
To
be.
support I think to sign, I'm not sure.
To support the dissent,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Not the bill.
yeah, I mean, you're signing it as a group, so sure.
Yeah, so just for the public, I mean, the public should know too that it's, the bill is saying that the New Hampshire, what's the PDIP again? Public Deposit Investment
Investment
Pool
pool.
can only be invested now in New Hampshire. It can't be invested wherever it's going to
Earn the
That's
best.
right.
earn the
the
best
money,
rates.
yeah.
So they're trying to limit it down, that all the investing has to stay in the state, and we're saying it's working well now. We think it should stay the way it is.
And the market creates its own competition, so
Right.
if New Hampshire investment companies or banks want to make an attractive investment option, they can up their rate. And if the market would take care of it, not a regulatory position.
point of information, who submitted that bill? Does it say what?
I don't
Well,
know.
it said it in the email, but I can't.
Well, I see that the state treasurer has concerns, but I didn't see who submitted it.
I was just curious. I don't know why you'd restrict it to just the state.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm looking at the,
Well, I
Is there a
would,
motion?
yeah, I would make a motion that the Tamworth Select Board does not support SB
553.
533.
Yeah.
553, and it's 533 in another place.
It says, yeah,
It's 533 though, isn't it?
Better be clear
I
on
think
that.
it's, I think what got,
I think
I think
it's-
what got cut and
think it's
pasted is
553.
553.
Well, it's 553 in several places. Let me do it quick.
Okay. There. I can amend by,
Just characterize the bill and I'll make sure I have the right bill number
okay,
on it.
if it's 553, then so be it, but we do not support that bill.
Second.
Discussion?
553.
553.
Thank you. Sorry.
Hearing none. Roll call vote.
There, yes?
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no.
Sponsors. Did you look this up already, Ed?
I'm looking it up now.
Senator Rosenwald, Senator Avard, Senator Riccadelli, Senator Susi, Senator Lang, Senator D'Alessandro, Senator Inez, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
You said Kevin Avard?
Yes.
Avard.
I'm gonna move on to the hauling contract discussion.
Which I
The-
think we're removing from the agenda.
I'd like to postpone.
We're gonna postpone the hauling contract discussion and move on. I asked if there's any changes or additions to the agenda. Sorry. I'm moving on to the staff resignation, which we will.
You received a letter from Tim Johnson?
Robinson.
Robinson.
Sorry. And,
I make a motion to accept Tim Robinson's letter of his resignation from the town of Tamworth.
Second.
Discussion. Effective April 1st,
6th.
April 6th?
Essentially staying through the plowing season, I think.
Yep.
Yep.
Effective April 6th. Roll call vote.
There, yes?
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes.
I add regrettably.
Yes.
and who seconded? I'm sorry.
I did.
Carlton.
4 yes, 0 no. Moving on to administrator report.
The bank balance is $3,797,732. And we met with the Department of Revenue this week to kick off the certification process that basically they do an audit of the assessing process in the office to make sure anybody who gets a veteran's credit or an elderly exemption or all those kinds of is documented and proper, and basically they're looking for a 95% correct rate. And so, yeah.
How long does that take?
Well, it happens over the course probably of the whole summer.
Oh,
And so right now we're in the process of sending out, for example, letters to every person who receives an elderly exemption. Some towns send that letter out every year, some towns send it out just in the year of certification. I think traditionally we've done it every 5 years. So everybody received a letter about a week ago, so we've had a lot of visits. And, it's just a way of recertifying people, and that will happen with all of the credit and exemption holders. So that's been taking some time. Pretty much it.
and the new software's all, kinks are worked out,
Not yet.
working out?
I think you'd have to talk to Elaine and Kim on that one.
Yeah.
They're both on the front lines. And I think it's, they will get worked out. It's definitely a lot to switch softwares. And we switched several at the same time.
Yeah.
So it's a lot. But,
Well, thanks to them, because it's been a lot.
yeah, it's a lot. That's it.
Moving on to the signature file. I make a motion to approve the meeting minutes for February 7th and 8th,
Second.
2024. Sorry, yeah, second. I was
Yep.
roll call vote.
Barry, yes?
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no. I make a motion to approve the abatement for map 216, lot 123 in the amount of $207, as well as the abatement for map 415, lot 67, sublot 49 in the amount of $979.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Barry, yes?
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no.
That's the transfer station.
I make a motion to approve the groundwater management permit renewal application for the transfer station.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barry, yes?
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no. I make a motion to approve the notice of intent to excavate for map 314, lot 14, access road 113, as well as the intent to excavate for map 206, lot 40, access road New Hampshire, route 25, as well as the intent to excavate map 413, lot 13, access road Pine Ground Road. Where is that?
That's right next to Hank Latards.
Pine
It
Hill.
used to be called, it has a different name.
It wasn't Pine Hill Road?
Yeah.
It
Well, it's
used to
Pine
be
Hill.
Pine Hill, now it's Pine Ground. And now-
Really?
Yeah.
Used to be Pine Ground, now it's Pine Hill.
No, I don't think so.
It's the road
Yeah.
that doesn't have anybody on it, but except
Pine.
Tucker Latarda
Now
at the
Pine
top.
Ground.
You sure it's Pine Ground Road?
Yeah, that's
Always
the
known as
name.
Pine Hill Road.
Yeah,
It was always
it's a 911 change.
Huh, okay.
Well, I'll second that.
As long as we know what road we're talking about. Even if we don't know the name.
Roll call vote.
Barry, yes?
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no. I make a motion to approve the intent to cut for map 407, lot 98, and lot. I was saying lot 99.
Lot 98 and lot 98 sublot 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And lot 98, sublot 1, access road, Loring Road.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barry, yes?
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no. I make a motion to approve the application for blind exemption map 202 lot 27, as well as the application for elderly exemption map 202 lot 21, as well as the application for veterans tax credit map 215 lot 108.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Barry, yes?
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no. Figured I'd just get some. I make a motion to.
That
Oh,
one
we
you
did
just-
that.
Yep.
Petition and poll. I make a motion to petition and
To approve.
to approve the petition and poll license for PSNH number 45-0853.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Do we know what that is?
Yeah.
It's a,
It's the
they want to put underground conduit and, I don't remember, it's in there.
Oh, wow.
It's a PSNH request to be able to put
There's a map
whatever
and
the stuff is called.
it's a pretty standard.
Okay, all right. We don't have to.
License to install and maintain underground conduits, cables and wires, and maintain poles, blah, 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 on Depot Road.
Okay.
I don't know what 45 and a half on Depot Road means, but it's a pole placement permission.
Barry, yes?
Schaefer, yes.
Apprentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no.
Point of information, when you have a pole that you're taxing, you're getting funds from that part that it sits in. When they do conduit, does that treat it differently? Do you receive anything extra for that? however many feet they're putting it in, or is it just the pole? It's a good
Good
question.
I
question.
don't know the answer to that.
I don't need it. Thank you.
Easy to find out.
I make a motion to approve the payroll in the amount of $44,802.58.
Second.
Roll call vote.
There, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no. I make a motion to approve the accounts payable in the amount of $15,225.25, as well as $297,430.30.
Way in the back.
Thank you. Second.
Discussion.
There you go.
Yeah.
67,000.
Uh,
Is that accounts payable?
so, no, so
okay.
school is 255 and hauling is 11, and all the rest are just small checks.
School is 255,000. Hauling is 11,000, and the rest are like small miscellaneous.
What so school get every week?
Two
Every
weeks.
2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
I'm in the wrong business. Thank you.
Roll call vote.
There, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no. Cash used to date, $1,669,654. Select board update, starting with Carl.
So Melanie mentioned to me that the windows on the parking lot side of the townhouse, either side of that entry roof, which get damaged by the splashing rain, and we're working on having some repair work done there. She actually noticed that some ice comes off the roof and impacts them.
It's the windows?
Yeah, so I had Rick look into getting some Lexan panels
Yeah.
to screw over them, and he looked into it and said they were about a little over $200 a piece. He thought it total cost might be around $500 to cover those two windows with a bare Lexan panel.
What was the other window that we were talking about a couple of meetings ago that was also getting damaged by snow?
Oh, and the
That
other,
was
That was
when I
those?
was here, yeah, yeah.
That was those windows. Okay, because we had talked about trying to cover them with something, so Lexian's what it's gonna be.
well, I mean, this is what he's looked into, and it's an option. We can decide yes or no. We just need to give Rick the go-ahead, and we also have to determine where the funds would come from.
Obviously, Lexan is a lot, like, that's very strong.
Yeah, it would be quarter inch. It wouldn't be the flimsy one.
Yeah, but is there, like, just using a piece of, like, plexiglass wouldn't probably be strong enough?
Well, plexiglass is similar, but it tends to yellow and fade
okay.
with age, and the Lexan stays clear.
Okay.
That's the main difference between the two products.
So you just build a frame and put it up and take it down every year?
I think it might be this sort of thing that you would just screw into place. You'd get it cut to fit and screw it into place.
Into the window frame?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the window
And
doesn't
it-
open? It's covered?
Not in the winter.
Well, no,
No, but I
if we're
mean-
gonna leave it permanently.
Would you want this thing removable for the
Yeah,
summer?
it
Oh,
would.
okay.
That
All
was-
right.
'cause
I mean, if
Rick
it's
and I
screws, you
talked
can
about
take the
it,
screws
yeah.
out.
Yeah, so it would just be there for the winter months for the,
Yeah.
yeah.
There's one window over by the emergency exit that has like plywood or it's
Yeah.
not plywood, it's
Yeah.
what is
Luan
the
or
other
something?
wood? Something. That goes up for
In
the
the
winter
winter.
because the snow piles up there.
Yep.
And that's fine for the winter.
Okay.
I
So
wouldn't
this would be
put,
similar, but it's.
right, I wouldn't put one over there because the snow gets too
No,
high
no.
over there.
Yeah, and it's nice to have the light coming in those ones
Right.
Yeah.
by the
Right.
door.
Yeah.
So,
They also make sheet covers that you can stick on really thin film that make the window almost unbreakable. I don't know, we could work, look, 3M makes it.
oh, you mean onto the glass? Yeah, this
These
is
are like the old
Oh, the
glass,
old
the
single
bubble
pane.
glass.
old single pane glass, yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
There's a budget line for the
For building
repair of town
Maintenance,
buildings.
so, okay,
yeah,
then I suggest we have Rick go ahead with that.
And that's a $500,
He estimated 500.
Okay.
Do we want a motion for that, or?
It's part of his,
I think it's a good idea.
I think it's part of his regular maintenance.
Yeah, I do too. I think it
And
can
it's
just-
in the budget already for maintenance,
I
so
Yeah.
it's not an extra expense.
No. I think we can just tell Rick, go for it.
Yep.
Should he wait until after the new sill is put in?
Yeah, probably. Although hopefully won't be a big deal to take it on and off.
Right, but I mean, as far as the size-wise, if
Oh.
that still, because I mean, it's pretty squishy right now there.
Yeah, that's true.
Are
Yeah,
they gonna fit that? They'll be a pretty nice tight fit, obviously. I mean,
Yeah.
I was picturing it kind of going like over the outside, like overlapping.
Yeah.
no, I think that it'll be inside the exterior trim.
Oh, okay.
There's usually a place where you can fit a storm sash or something.
Okay.
So maybe it would be a good idea to wait until
Yeah,
that sill
because
is
there's
repaired.
that one
Yeah,
window that's really rotten that grows the mushrooms.
yeah,
That's kind of become a little
right.
caved in.
Does there need to be a temporary fix so it doesn't break in the meantime until it gets fixed?
The groundhog did say we're having an early spring, so.
Did it? Yay.
Yeah, and when we have that one on the right
Raise
done,
that
we'll
too.
see what's
Yeah.
involved and maybe we'll do the one on
Do
the
the
left.
other one, because
Okay.
Yeah.
that one's getting pretty squishy too.
Okay, that was one item.
Yeah.
I also went to the library trustees meeting on February 8th. The big news there was that they were awarded a grant for $15,000 for installing energy recovery ventilators on the main floor HVAC, similar to what we want to do to this building.
That's great.
And since they had that in their budget, they're planning on amending their budget on the floor at town meeting.
To reduce it?
Reduce
Oh,
it
fantastic.
by that amount, so that's good. And then they were waiting to hear about a grant for automatic door openers in the main doors of the library. And I thought that they would have heard by now, but I don't know if they got that one or not. That was a grant for $10,000. So I'm not sure about that item. Otherwise, all is good at the library. I also attended the meeting at the town office with Rod and the fellow from,
Jason Bickford, yeah.
oh, Jason, okay. I
From
didn't take-
DRA,
I
yeah.
didn't take his card. But yeah, quite a process.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it.
That's it? Okay. At a nice Transfer Station Improvement Committee meeting, we actually had some visitors for the first time ever, so that was great. We had a lot of discussion about different options and thoughts that those folks had, as well as what we're currently doing. So just encourage if anybody else is interested to please show up to that. It's once a month. On Mondays, I forget exactly what the next date is, but it's posted on the town website. It was nice to have some other folks there. No real change in the movement there, still trying to figure out the negotiations on the new lot, as well as what we're gonna do for the transfer station needs until we're able to transition, or whatever we end up doing next. And I also, the reason why we skipped the agenda for the hauling contract is I'm waiting to get some numbers on our current prices from our vendors now. And after town meeting, depending if that passes, have those ready to go for the new dumping fees. That's it for me.
Nothing for me.
I was at the budget hearing, which I thought went pretty well. Both, well, no, I guess it was just one budget hearing, just extended to both days, but, other than that, I think that's about it. So, is the transportation committee still in negotiations with the?
We are trying to work through what our options are. Yep.
And as far as the hauling, so are you trying to get some pricing from other?
That's the intention, yes.
Good. All right. Nothing else from me. Is there any public input?
I have a question.
Yes?
In all the years that I've been to the Selectmen meeting, 30-something years, we've never had
the administrator cut down on their hours. Why are we changing the hours? And why do we have an assistant, and you're cutting her hours, or she's cutting her hours? Are we cutting her pay? Why? I'm confused there.
So
Always take this question.
There's,
Well, so I wouldn't screw it up, okay?
Yeah.
I wrote it down. I mean, why are we cutting her weekly work 5 hours a week? And yet you've got an assistant.
So
Why
that's-
do we,
because
So the
to me it's much
assistant-
less money.
So the town administrator's pay is being cut by that 5 hours for that, that's
it
reflected in
is
the
gonna be
budget.
cut,
Yep,
Yeah.
yeah.
okay?
So it's budgeted for that reduced number of weeks, that it's a lower number, oh my God, I'm so
Lower number of
tired.
hours.
It's
Yeah.
proportional, yeah.
The budget's lowered because of that reduction in hours. The assistant is the deputy assessing clerk, who also helps with the town administration stuff, but is mostly doing the assessing work.
And
But I've never
they're
seen
not
where an
being cut.
administrator cut down 5 hours a week. I've never heard of that before. Why is she cutting, why are you having her cut down by 5 hours a week?
Because she's told us that the office can handle, for those months, being cut
Get rid
down.
of the assistant.
But it'd be more
It's
expensive.
different, it's different work, too.
It would be more expensive for us to have the assistant work the extra 5 hours than have our administrator work extra 5 hours. That's why.
Reverse.
I'm confused.
It would be more expensive to have our administrator work those 5 hours than it would for our assistant to work those 5 hours because their pay is much less.
But we're not increasing the assistants, we're not increasing
No,
the
we're not
deputy clerk's hours.
increasing
Is
the
it
assistants.
every day that it's cut by an hour, or is it a chunk of 5 hours?
Depends on the week, I suppose.
Yeah, it would depend on. It could be.
What about if the administrator took on the website? That's 3 hours a week.
But I think that's outside of her job functions. It's during a time
It
when
never
there's
has
not.
been.
That's okay.
I guess my
It is
question is,
now.
what's the concern?
Yeah. Are we worried about spending too much money or not enough money?
No, we gotta cut back on what we're spending, I understand that, but why do we're cutting her hours and yet we have someone helping doing her work?
Her helper makes a lower wage, right?
She
And
works a
the
lot
helper's
more
not,
than
the
5
helper's
hours.
It's
not getting, the
irrelevant.
helper's not getting more hours, we're not paying the helper 5 hours and cutting
Can I
her
say
5
something
hours.
for you?
Go right ahead.
I think what Bruno's looking at is never before in the history of town administrators has there ever been not enough work for 40 hours a week. There's always been more hours than that.
Well, maybe this administrator is so efficient that, I mean, if we find that it's not working, we'll bump our hours back up.
Yeah, so is the
But if
concern that,
if it works, why not do it?
is the
I mean,
concern the
there's-
jobs aren't going to get done?
I think the job's gonna get done.
Is the
And
assistant
it-
capable of doing?
The assistant doesn't have to do the job.
But if she's not here, who's gonna do her job?
Anytime you take time off, you coordinate your tasks so that you get your work done. If she has something to do that can't be managed with taking time off, then she'll do it and rearrange her time.
Yeah.
She's not pawning off like high-level executive function to somebody who's not trained or prepared to do
So
it.
who's gonna decide when you're gonna cut back on those 5 hours? You doing an hour a day? So can I come in, like
She's
for
a
example, the
professional,
other
she's
day?
gonna decide it herself. We're not micromanaging what the town administrator does.
So if I wanna see, for example, I had to stop the other day and drop off something for my wife, okay? If she wasn't there, that was the hour that she's not there.
I'll be there during open hours.
I'm sorry?
I'll be there.
So how are you gonna come back in 5 hours a week if you're not there?
The office is closed all day on Monday, and it's also closed from 8 to 9 a.m. I think, I find this micromanagement to be odd and frankly irrelevant to, I don't understand.
But I've never seen, of all the years I've been coming to selectmen meetings.
So this is
I've never
something
seen
new.
that.
This is something new, and we're gonna see if it works, okay?
Well, I also think, and I'll speak to Emery, in the past, the town administrator has done finance, been able to do the assessing. The town administrator is the focal point, you know, the selectmen come and go, assessing come and go, finance, and the town administrator has always been the key.
And we worked for years without a town administrator, and we have one that's doing a good job now.
But that's not true.
That's not true.
It's also how the town is managed now doesn't have to be how it was always managed.
No, but
Okay, I'm not gonna say.
I'm not gonna say anymore.
Yeah, like obviously I'm not gonna give my.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I
Thank
just don't
you.
see what the problem with it is.
Thank you for
Anyway.
the public input. Is there public input on
I have
another?
one, oh, go ahead.
I have
Another
one thing, at the budget hearing, I was a little upset when we found out that the employee luncheon came out of an office supply line. So I did make some phone calls and spoke with a couple of House representatives in Concord, one of them being with the municipal and county committee, and I asked him, could the selectmen do this? And he said the budget question is a good one. RSA 32:10 covers important parts. Municipal budgets are bottom line budgets, so for the most part, residents approve one number and the selectmen have the authority to spend that money as they see fit. In this case, the selectmen would be well within their right to spend office supply budgeted funds on a Christmas party. Obviously, that is not open, transparent, or what I would call good government. It's a just because you can doesn't mean you should. So I'm asking the selectmen going forward if you can be more transparent, open, and become the good government that Tamworth residents
Well,
deserve.
Next year will be. Did we put a line in
No,
for?
there was no
We can
line.
There was
create
no
a
line in
line.
it, but it was mentioned at a public meeting because it came up, we were asked where the money was coming from, and we said at a public meeting that is recorded and watched by lots of people, where the money was coming from and that it was coming from that line. So I don't know what could be more transparent, other than putting it as a line item in the budget, which
can
we'll
create a
clearly
new
do
line,
next
that's
year.
no
But
big
it was
deal.
it was already said in public. This is not some like cabal of secrecy to, have a Christmas party for our town.
I'm not against a Christmas party, it was just, once again, in the past, office supplies line is paper.
And I actually misspoke, it's in the rec department supply line, FYI, just to be clear.
In the rec office supply line?
Rec
supply.
supply line.
Because Rec hosted the party this year.
Is there any
But we
other?
can create another line, it's not an issue.
Is there any other public input?
I have one more comment. I should have wrote that down. The Conservation Commission. At some point in time, are you guys gonna put a stop to that?
Stop to what?
These conservation pieces of land that you're giving up, that you're not getting tax dollars from?
Oh, I think they're still taxed. I have.
Not the same rate that I'm paying.
Well,
But they're not paid the same rate now because they're under current use.
That's just another issue, same thing, same with current use, I mean,
Let's
when
Well,
does this
current-
stop?
Current use is a statewide. That's statewide. I mean, and the conservation. It's still being taxed. I mean, if there wasn't current use in the state of New Hampshire, there would be no farms left. There would be no. I mean, people wouldn't be able to afford to have them anymore. I mean, so
okay, so I'll give you that. So, the conservation, I think that at some point in time, you guys should say, hey, enough's enough.
Okay.
Over the concern that we're not getting enough tax revenue from these pieces
Yeah.
of property.
That affects the rest of us.
So if the property's already in current use and it doesn't change their tax rate, is there still a concern?
It's still gonna affect my tax rate, yeah.
Does it?
We're talking about conservation now.
Does it
We're
change
talking two different things.
From what Nelson told us last time we brought this up, it does not change the tax rate.
from
They're still
current use
taxed on
to
it.
current use to conservation?
Correct.
It doesn't
Correct.
change.
That is
Correct.
my understanding. So
Okay,
the tax
so-
rate doesn't change based
But-
off the conservation.
But looking for conservation land from the get-go, that affects my tax rate.
The only difference I would say would be, I don't think it changing, so say you have 100 acres, I'm just gonna use this for an example, and I don't know if I should get into this, but say you have 100 acres of land that's in current use, and your taxes are $100, if you put it in conservation, it would still be taxed at the same level.
Current use rate.
But the only difference I believe with conservation would be that you can't just take it, you can't, like with current use, you pay a penalty, you take it out of current use if you want to develop it, if you want to subdivide it, whatever,
understand that.
or if you want to do certain things with it that you can't do while it's in current
I
use.
understand.
Whereas in conservation, you can't do that. So I think that would be the difference.
That's what's affecting my tax rate.
Yeah, well, that would if it can never be developed. That land will never be able to be developed, or from my understanding.
Because they're putting it in conservation.
Yeah. So
But the tax rate's the same as it's already under current use.
it will never.
It's not,
it
you're
would
not
never.
paying less tax because it goes under conservation easement.
They're not paying any taxes in conservation.
Yes,
Yeah,
they
they
are.
are. Oh, yeah.
They're still paying the
That's the
same.
same rate I'm paying.
No, but they're
Because
still
it's under
paying.
current use.
If it wasn't under current use, then they would be paying the same rate. But the land's already under current use, so it's not about the fact we put it into conservation. And I don't know how land gets into current use. I haven't
It's
remembered.
a state
You just
law.
put it.
Right, we
Apply
don't
for it.
vote on it though,
No, it's
to
not
allow
right.
it into current use. It
So
needs a
how
set of
many
rules.
acres right now are in conservation and
You do vote
current
to
use
take it out of
in the
current
town
use.
of Tamworth?
A lot.
46% of the property
There you go.
is in
That
conservation.
affects us,
Yeah,
the taxpayer. And I'm asking you to put a stop to it or something, or you gotta do something.
We don't have any control over what land goes into current use taxation.
but he's talking about
You keep
conservation.
saying
He's saying don't put it under
current use,
don't
forget
do what we
current
did tonight.
use. Conservation.
I thought we've established that conservation doesn't change.
Well,
the
no,
tax
but
rate.
he's
But
saying
if it-
we don't put it into conservation because then it can never be developed. It can never be, turned
And
into
some
a-
land goes from not current use, like just private ownership, into conservation.
So it comes to a question of, do you want a town that has more property that has more tax revenue, or a town that's more rural?
Yeah,
Yeah.
And so from my standpoint, I'd rather keep Tamworth rural than have it built up and developed. It doesn't change the tax rate today, it changes how the town looks moving forward.
What would
I
change
made
our,
my point.
what would change our tax rate is if we work proactively to bring some sort of business to town that would be paying taxes while we're maintaining the livability of the town in a way that people want it. And I just hear a lot of conversation that quibbles over $100 here and $500 there and $200 there, when really, like, that time could be spent like doing some research at the state level, seeing what there is for industry or business that's available, looking for places to come and see what we can do to make Tamworth more inviting to some sort of business.
Don't even go there. Don't even go there.
I'm just saying, we spend a lot of time arguing over pennies when that time
But
could
the
be
pennies
spent.
add up.
I know they
And
do,
so will $100 add up.
and they do. I agree.
Enough's enough. You guys are gonna do something. So I'm getting up to here, I'm getting up to here.
We all are,
Well,
believe me.
Is there?
I have
Yes.
one other question. What is going on with the bathroom at the transfer station?
It's a great question. It's something that Willie and I are trying to figure out, because we obviously are not gonna have a plan to close the transfer station down or have a new one built before the spring, and we've set a deadline for ourselves at the end of spring to have something built, so we're looking at getting quotes to build out a septic system and a bathroom or some other portable bathroom option.
When will the? Is that going to be put out as like a RFP?
Is the septic designed yet, or redesigned?
The septic is designed.
Gone to the state?
We have the plans all
Is
set.
it still? Because that's good for 3 years, and then you can do a
It's
extension
been
after
3
that.
years.
But has it been 3 years since we did the?
Yeah.
I don't think it's been.
The septic
Yeah.
design,
No, it hasn't been quite 3
It
years.
was 2020.
Because I haven't been on the board 3 years.
Because it was at that town meeting that was under the tent
we
that it was
just had it.
discussed.
That it was
Sanborn had
discussed,
to
which is
do,
21.
we did a survey, and I don't know if the plans got updated to the point where they're
Mark McConkey did the septic plans in 22.
And he updated them
just had them
recently.
updated.
Oh,
Because the
okay, well then
wetlands-
if he just updated them then.
The surveyed
Very
wetlands
good.
changed and we
Yeah.
got the official new set.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
So they've
they're-
been approved or gone to the state?
Yeah.
As far as I know,
I've-
the plans are approved, yes.
They have.
Why is it taking so long? It's been
For-
going on for a couple of years.
Because
The bathrooms at the transfer station.
Because initially, the committee and the intent was to rebuild the transfer station so that we had larger recycling facility, better capabilities, a bathroom, an office, things like that. That was moving forward until the prices came back at being so astronomically outside of our budget that it was no longer obtainable.
And you're getting any money from the grant?
Pardon?
And you didn't get any money from the grant, right?
Some, but not the large chunk we were waiting for.
But there was ARPA funds that were earmarked for that bathroom.
Yes, and that's the intent, to use those
To-
funds. I believe
so-
it's still those funds to build out the
So
bathroom.
can it, before the summer, have a bathroom?
Well, we have to still get quotes on building the bathroom, design, we haven't been designing just a bathroom for that very, very minor, not minor, but very, much smaller project than the initial project. So that's what the TSEC committee, specifically Willie and I, have been trying to figure out the best, most economical route, because we don't want to build a Taj Mahal bathroom
No. Well, there were plans before.
for just a bathroom build out. I haven't
There-
seen just bathroom build out.
Yeah,
plans.
we did have, and then we had plans for a bathroom and a septic, and then it changed because we were, obviously, if you're gonna do the whole project, there's no sense to,
Right.
we
Right.
stopped. Actually, we actually accepted a price from GW Brooks to put a septic in, and then we stopped it, which they were okay with, because of, obviously, the overall project. There was no sense to put a septic where there was gonna be a new
Right.
building,
Right.
because then we'd have to tear out a brand new septic.
Was that at the same time the well went in?
Yeah.
Yes.
It all was
Yeah,
all
so,
ready to go.
but, so you guys are working on that?
Yes, we are
So-
actively working on that.
Is there any other public input? Yes, Ed?
Just to add a little bit to what Bruno's concern was, is you hear the same thing in Effingham, for instance. There is so much land that is locked away in conservation easements that the town doesn't have any means to get any more tax revenue. So I think he may be speaking to that. So the state actually has a law on the books that the state itself can't give over a certain amount to the federal government. And they've exceeded that. We tried to fix that, and it was impossible because everybody said, you said they wanted it rural, but they didn't account for the balance that you have to have. You have to have commercial development to offset your taxes, and if you don't, all that burden's on the people. And that's what Effingham is feeling. And I don't know what locally you can do, like I don't know if you can come up with a percentage that you're not gonna exceed for the town to put in.
That was not
The
too bad.
build-out analysis is
Yeah, well, the build-out analysis is in progress, right?
We're
Yeah.
just starting, yeah.
So that will give us an idea of what's available and where the building can be.
Yeah, what I would consider is making sure that there is some type of a guardrail there, because just look at Effingham, it's happening in other places where there's no development. And I believe Tamworth is a enterprise-free zone or enterprise zone that you've assigned your entire town, which could be very beneficial.
Right.
Because you could have, with regulation, you could have commercial people come in and you could offset your taxes that way, since your taxes, everybody's taxes are going up. My final comment is, I have good news from the county. As you know that I provide video service for you for the county. Guess how much your taxes are from the county?
Much.
Zero. Zero, it went up zero, it went up, it didn't go
Oh,
any higher.
increase.
Increase.
No
No
increase,
increase,
zero
yeah.
increase.
Well,
That's
that's good.
really good.
Yeah.
That is good.
And we have a very big undesignated fund balance at, I believe it's 16%,
For somebody in a waiting
which
room.
is really high. So we're in a very good financial spot right now. So there's a lot of work that's been done at the county over the years that people should get credit for.
That's great.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
Any other public input?
And sir, can I ask your name for the record?
Mitch, Gordon?
Thank you.
Hearing no more public input, I make a motion to go into non-public under RSA 91-A:3 2A Session 1 and RSA 91-A:3 Session 2 at 6:08 p.m.
Second.
Roll call vote.
Yes. Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 0 no. We are now in non-public at 6:08 p.m.
How about tomorrow?
Okay, as soon as Carl's done chatting, you can pull it
Okay.
into,
Thanks.
ready to pull us into.
I make a motion to come out of non-public at 6:36 p.m.
That's it? So
Second.
early.
So,
Roll call vote.
Barry, yes.
Schaefer, yes.
Prentice, yes.
Roberts, yes. 4 yes, 2 no. We are now out of non-public at 6:37 p.m.
Minutes are not.
Minutes are not sealed. Motion to adjourn.
You like that guy.
Well
I
done.
do. I was gonna hit it up
You
here.
know,
I should
doesn't
do
somebody
that.
have like a little court coaster we can put there?
Yes, I do. He'll purposely miss it though.
Yeah.
I don't know what's on there.
Thank you for